Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about homestead winter chores. Hi, my name's Corinne, and here at Spirea, I share videos that weave together plant wisdom, holistic health, self-sufficiency with just a dash of magic. If this sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to stick around. So, what's one of our chores?
Collecting the eggs.
Which we don't get a lot of in the winter because the girls don't lay as much. I actually had to pick up this chicken because she kept trying to eat them. Don't eat the eggs.
I'm actually starting to enjoy this because I have a chicken friend I named Sora.
Yeah, this is Sora here.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we have to do is top up their waters because with these really cold and frigid temperatures, the waters freeze, right?
Yeah.
So we come out and give them fresh water as well.
It's okay, you can put her down now.
Yeah, I'm going to put her down now. You've got the eggs. So do you feel like the chickens are really that much work in the winter?
Now, biggest job is firewood. In a few seconds, you'll see what.
So I think when a lot of people think about self-sufficient or more off-grid heating options, firewood tends to be the first one that comes to mind. And there's definitely a bit of a romanticized notion when it comes to firewood, you know, the crackling wood stove and how you'll always be warm. But this is by far our biggest chore in the winter months. We're probably outside in some way, shape, or form, stacking, chopping, making kindling, dealing with firewood, I would say at least every 3 or maybe 4 or 5 days, depending on how much work we get done. It's really cold today. You can probably, I can't get the silly camera to work. There's my husband doing some chopping in the background. And this is one of those things where you kind of have to be cognizant of that it's going to take work. Heating your home with wood is definitely always on your mind. You always have to make sure you have enough. And one thing that over the years we've figured out, we now have a really good system. So I want to share with you guys how we manage our firewood because we were new to this. We both born and raised in the suburbs where heat came from turning a dial. And you know, what did we do? We jumped to YouTube to figure out how to deal with wood storage, you know, what size firewood, how to start a fire, kindling, all that jazz. So I'm going to show you guys our system. So one of the first things you have to think about is a good source for firewood, which we have. It took a few years, but we've got someone we really trust. We also built wood storage. That made a huge difference. When we first started, we were storing everything in the garage and it wasn't getting enough exposure to wind and elements to really dry everything out. Now that being said, if you've got a good firewood source, your wood should be dry and ready to burn when you buy it. Now, and we have to buy it. We don't have a wood lot. We've only got a ½ acre. So we have 3 sizes of firewood that we like to deal with. This is, nothing here has been chopped. This is what we get when we purchase it. And some of the logs, as you can see, like when I show my hand, they're really big. And when you're starting a fire, you don't want to stick one of these big bad boys on the fire because it's just going to kill it. Won't allow for enough oxygen flow. So these are our larger sizes. These are great for putting on at night when you want the fire to burn kind of low and hot and slow. But then this is where the firewood chopping comes in. And this is kind of our medium-sized pieces, which we use when we're starting fire, but when we also use this, my husband will make kindling. And I'll show you our kindling setup. He's got a pretty good sweet setup in the garage. And we're looking for more of these smaller size pieces that you can see here that he's chopping. So today he's actually chopping firewood to make kindling. And what was one of the first mistakes that we made?
The type of, I just went to the hardware store and I bought an axe. I need an axe, so I bought an axe. And I bought an axe to cut down a tree, not to split wood. So now I have the maul right? But the first time I was chopping wood, it was like those Bugs Bunny cartoons where you like hit a piece of wood and your whole body vibrates, like it wasn't the right equipment, right? And then
Yeah.
thankfully the helpful guy at the hardware store corrected me. I've never looked back.
Yeah, so the maul, here, let's get a close-up of the actual,
It's a big wedge.
it's a giant wedge, right? So it really does a great job. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. It's very sunny today, which is the only thing that's keeping us warm. And kiddo likes to watch, right?
Yeah, because I can't be too close. I built into one bad stopping. I built myself this little ledge up here, which, as you can see, is temporary.
Oh my gosh.
So speaking of having the right tools, the first year we were here, I was on my hands and knees on this concrete, holding a piece of kindling with a hatchet, trying not to lose fingers, cracking the concrete. And then a bit of research, found this on Amazon, product of New Zealand. It's cast iron. It's got a big wedge just like the maul does, screwed it into a stump. So now I can easily just take a piece. I got 2 different size sledges. I got a 2-pound mini sledge and then a 4-pound mini sledge, depending on how big the piece is that I'm trying to make kindling from. So this one is pretty small, it's light, so this is going to be easy with a 2-pound. So put it in here, a couple taps, kindling in the bucket it goes.
And he's got a pretty good setup. He has a heater out here because it's cold. It's minus 20 degrees Celsius today. And he's often watching sports when he does this. So
Sports, a beer, chopping wood. It's not a bad setup.
It's not a bad setup.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, so these pieces of firewood that he has here are the ones that he was chopping outside. So this is 2 sets of chopping you have to do, but this saves a lot of money if you don't want to buy your own kindling. So in addition to our wood storage, which is around, come on, Gimbal, the side of the house there, we do have a wood rack out front that stores half a bush cord. And this is great because it's south facing and it's getting, like on sunny days like today, it's getting lots and lots of sun. So you can see here, these smaller pieces are the ones that we chop. They're great for starting fires with. And then further down, we have those much larger logs, which are the ones that you can add on once you have a good fire started. So something that I have heard on more than one YouTube channel is that, you know, chopping firewood is sort of the man's job. And I really didn't want to fall into that trap because I was thinking, again, along those lines of self-sufficiency. And is it hard work? Yes. And do you have to be strong? Absolutely. But I think it's really important to realize, like, what happens if my husband throws his back out, or if he's caught late at meetings and isn't able to get home in time and we've started to run low on firewood. It was really important for my own self-sufficient journey to know that I could do this and do this well. So I've been practicing for a while and I'm feeling really good and confident in that I can use the maul and chop firewood in a safe way that can help keep my family warm. So even with all the chopping and the hauling and the constant chore load, I do love a good fire. It's quickly become my favorite way to stay warm. And we've had electric heat, we've had an oil-based furnace, we've had regular natural gas furnaces, and this is definitely by far my favorite. So I hope you found some of the information that we shared with you today helpful. If you have any tips, we're always looking at improving our firewood situation. It took us about 4 years before we finally had the perfect combination of ensuring the firewood was covered and in a good spot where it was exposed to the elements to dry out further, to get a good source of firewood, to get the right tools. But like I said, we're always willing to learn and grow. So if you have any comments or experiences that you can share with us, you can leave those below. And until next time, this is Corinne from Spirea Herbs, wishing you health, wellness, and warmth.